Good morning.
From somewhere on the northeast coast of Tasmania.
We're going to start our day by having cookies because we're adults and we can do that in something known as the Tim Tam Slam.
For anybody who's wondering what we're talking about, these things are Tim Tams. For anybody from the UK, then basically these are like glorified penguin biscuits that come in pretty much every flavour that you can imagine for chocolate under the sun. And they are amazing.
This is what a Tim Tam looks like in all its glory. So how you apparently do the Tim Tam Slam is you bite off this corner and this corner, so opposing corners, and then you stick it in your coffee and use the Tim Tam as a straw to suck the coffee up all the way through the cookie. And then you have to quickly put it in your mouth because the coffee supposedly disintegrates or melts the inside of the Tim Tam within like 3 to 5 seconds.
This is just a great excuse to have a Tim Tam anyway, but I'm very intrigued. Not sure if I've actually taken off too much or not, but here we go. Alright, here goes to something. That is extremely messy, but it's divine. I completely understand why people do it. It's just like having melted chocolate. It's glorious.
So it does disintegrate quickly or changes the texture?
Yep, it gives you basically no time at all. Like, look at my hands. We have just travelled about 11 minutes from our Airbnb to Binalong Bay, and based on that, it's not really been a long drive, has it?
Bump. So Binalong Beach actually marks the start of what is known as the Bay of Fires. And the Bay of Fires is a stretch of coastline on the northeast coast of Tasmania that goes, as I said, from Binalong Bay all the way up to Eddystone Point. And kind of like the Great Ocean Road, it's basically just known for its beautiful scenery. So I don't know about you, I can't wait to explore.
Me neither.
We're starting here at Binalong Beach.
Let's go. After an amazing start, we have now gone a few more minutes down the road, and we are now at 2 different beaches which are only separated by a small body of water. So this is Generae Beach and Swimcart Beach.
We've been to 3 beaches so far, and what I've noticed is that they are all that really fine white sand that we saw at Whitehaven Beach in the Whitsundays. It is cool, so it's not too hot to walk on, and it's just so soft because of how finely milled it is. It's like you've put it through a sieve like you would flour 2 or 3 times. Absolutely incredible. These are just some of the most gorgeous beaches that we have seen anywhere in the world.
and after another short drive, which seems to be the theme for the day, we have arrived at Cozy Corner.
We've come a few more minutes down the road to Sloop Rock Lookout, so here's hoping for a really good view. Not that the others have been too shabby. You have to come to this lookout because the landscape that this region is known for, meaning the orangey patterns on the granite rocks and the aquamarine waters and the white sand beaches, are just perfectly visible from here. You get all those characteristics at this one lookout, so this place is an absolute must.
We now move on to our next one. Not sure what it is yet. We'll tell you later. After that temporary moment of amnesia, we found out it's actually called Taylor's Beach. Let's go check it out.
I was slightly disappointed by Taylor's Beach because there was not a Taylor in sight. Like, I thought I was coming to see Taylor Swift, Taylor Fritz.
Taylor Lautner, either of them. Any of the people I know that have the surname Taylor.
James Taylor.
No one that came along to fit me for a suit. No Taylors.
But in all seriousness, it is absolutely beautiful. That same super fine white sand. Not a person in sight. Well, maybe in sight, but not even in yelling distance. Like, so far away.
This has been a treat already, and we're only about halfway through what we want to see. It's crazy. Our next spot is called Suicide Beach, which puts us a little bit ill at ease, but we'll go check it out anyway.
And now, the gardens. Edison Point Lighthouse was our final stop on the road trip, but something that you should be aware of, because we weren't, is that at the gardens, which was our last stop, we thought that you could just drive along the coast to get to Edison Point Lighthouse, but it turns out there is no road. There's a long coastal walk, which we didn't have time for, but I've heard it's gorgeous, so if you have the time and weather permits, do that. But basically, in order to get here to Edison Point Lighthouse, we actually had to retrace our steps and drive about an hour. So just make sure that's something you're aware of and possibly account for.
Look who's driving now that I've done all the hard work. It's been a beautiful drive, in amongst all the scenic views, the different lookout points and everything like that. It's been pretty wonderful, and the greatest thing is, while obviously we have had to track on like gravel and dirt roads for some parts of it, then it has been mostly through national park and wild reserve land, which means that actually we've managed to spot some really good wildlife as well. We've even managed to see some echidnas for the first time, which was incredibly cute. They're much bigger than I thought they were, but still adorable and spiky. But we are on our way now towards our accommodation for the evening, which should be another 3 or so hours, and we may or may not pick up some more coffee on the way.
I kind of want to come back here because it would just be so amazing to camp for a few days near the beaches, because you could just get up, have a coffee, go for a morning swim, have another coffee, like do yoga or Pilates on the beach. It would just be so relaxing and a lovely way to pass a week or so.
That's true. I mean, I think we've been saying the entire way as we've been driving through the parts of Australia that we have driven through, that essentially we should just be van lifing this entire place, realistically, and just moving from bit to bit, because we can't really settle on one particular area we love the most yet, so we just want to keep exploring. So yeah, you know full well what's going to be coming up in our next trip then. But anyway, bit of driving, and we'll catch up with you once we're at our accommodation. After a long and winding drive, we are finally at our Airbnb, and it is so cozy. I think we're going to have a lovely time here.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, we are going to pick this up tomorrow, where we are going to go on quite the adventure again. Seems to be the theme in Tasmania, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
So until next time, take care.
And keep smiling.